Manchester City and no, I'm just kidding. Manchester City and Liverpool. 2-2. What a game. What a game. I can't even say anymore. What a game.
Yep.
Let's start it off. Mo Salah's goal. Let's just get straight to it. How great was that goal?
It was absolutely incredible. It was incredible. It was one of the best goals I've seen in a while. The question that really came up to me is Mo Salah the best player in the Premier League? And let's even take it a step further. Is he the best player in the world right now?
Theo.
I think Premier League, yes. I want to say best player in the world, yes. I know that Benzema's had a really good start to the season, and Lewandowski's had a really good year. I think if Liverpool had done anything except what they did last season, anything better, then he would be in the running for a Ballon d'Or. But
I agree. Yes.
And I hope he still is anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos?
I disagree. Kareem the Dream, best player in the world. He's been killing it for Real Madrid. He's been amazing. Stepping up after Ronaldo left, he's been amazing these past couple years and been the most consistent. He's better than Salah. Salah's been the best player in the Premier League. I'll give him that, but not the best player in the world. I think Kareem the Dream has been unbelievable. But let's talk about the game a little bit more. Pep Guardiola, he said that he was happy with the draw. Were you impressed by the way that Manchester City played?
I thought they were great. Just the way they build up their attack is so smooth, and they create such quality chances. It's a bit of a shame that they don't have an actual striker to play up there because they create a ton of chances, and just the way they play is so intricate, and it's honestly beautiful to watch. Like the Pep Guardiola system, the tiki-taka that he perfected at Barcelona, that he's brought to Bayern Munich, that he's now has brought to Manchester City. It's beautiful to watch, and they have a great team. Like well-deserved draw. I did think they played pretty well. What do you guys think?
I was looking at the XG. I was looking at the stats for the first half because I think I had missed the first half, and I think Liverpool had like one shot. I don't even know if they had a shot on target.
Yeah,
they had like one shot. City, with Chelsea last week and then Liverpool this week, have just pinned back their opponents, and they do it so well. They're pressing so well.
Right.
We thought they would drop off at some point, but they still look like the best team in the league, possibly in the world. But I mean, Liverpool came back and scored some incredible goals in the second half.
City came back twice, and I think that shows a lot about the team because Liverpool scored the first one at home, went up 1-0, and then City tied it. Liverpool scored their second. City tied it to get the draw. But yeah, you're right. City dominated the first half. I thought Liverpool played better in the second half than City.
Yeah.
But good result for City. I mean, can't really complain with coming out of Anfield with a point.
Yeah, I have to say it was a deserved point as well. They played really, really well, showing desire and the grit to come back. The only shame that I would really have to say is that, unfortunately, City didn't have any away fans to go and watch that performance, or just any fans in general.
Talking about the away fans.
I feel really bad. But I have to say, it really shows how great the top of the Premier League is right now, especially like Klopp against Guardiola. It's two of the best managers in the world. The two best managers in the world, guaranteed.
Yep.
And the game was spectacular. You can see how far ahead Liverpool and Manchester City are than
the
rest of the world. I would say the rest of Europe. Really? They're better. I think they're better than your Bayerns. I think they're better than your Real Madrids, your Piemonte Calcios, all of these guys. They are way better than those. Well, I'm not even going to call them their actual club name because they're a bunch of garbage, but it doesn't really matter. Anyways, they're streets ahead of Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea. They're streets ahead of them. Chelsea, they're close.
Chelsea still look great.
But they're not as good as Liverpool and Manchester City. I shouldn't have welched on Manchester City winning the title.
I still think Chelsea should be the favorites, but I think you're right that Liverpool and City are world-class teams.
They're streets ahead of them.
I think you should still be hopeful because I think Manchester City are still the best team in the league. I think that Liverpool were just everyone was down on Liverpool for whatever reason. I think you look at that squad and you're like, not the biggest names compared to the depth that Chelsea and Manchester City have, but I mean they've done pretty well with the depth that they do have. And with their starting 11, and just to prove that they are still the team that they were 2 years ago. I mean, 2 years ago we would have said the same thing, that Liverpool and City are streets ahead of everyone else. And I think they are right now this year, except for Barcelona. So,
We'll get to Barcelona later in the
didn't like
show.
that.
We'll get to Barcelona later.
At some point.
I will say this. Jurgen Klopp, best motivator in Europe.
I agree.
The
Jurgen
style of
Klopp?
football that they play, the rock and roll football,
Rock and roll.
and to be able to like be 4 years into the job, 5 years into the job, and still be able to motivate his team like
Yeah.
that,
And
crazy.
It's the same team.
It's the same team.
Yeah, it's not like he's, brought in a lot of new players. It's, for the most part, the same spine of the team, same core of the team, and you could still get a tune out of him. As I said last week, I think Jurgen Klopp's the best manager in Europe, and I think he showed it this weekend.
Who's the favorite between these two?
City. City, but I think Liverpool are gonna push them all the way. Also, Jurgen Klopp, I think in his post-match interview was talking about half spaces and had a lot of like tactical analysis to go along with it. And I don't think he does that very much. And I don't know, still kind of surprising that he can motivate his team
Yep.
for this period of time. So, props to him. Props to Liverpool for still being fantastic, and for Mohamed Salah. I think Mohamed Salah is the best player that I've watched in like my 6 years as a fan, to be honest. Besides I don't know, Messi and Ronaldo.
I
and
disagree.
Besides those two, Messi and Ronaldo, who would yours be?
Messi and Ronaldo.
Behind them.
Talking about Premier League players, is he
Oh,
the best,
Premier
is he the
League?
best Premier League player you guys have seen?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I'd have to say yes. I mean, I've been watching the Premier League for like 6 years now, going on to 7. I will say that Alexis Sanchez had a couple of crazy seasons at Arsenal.
Crazy seasons.
But other than him, and it wasn't even nothing compared to Salah.
No.
Nothing compared to Salah. And I didn't get to see Luis Suarez this season where he scored a ton of goals for Liverpool. That was the season right before I started watching. So,
Right.
Yeah.
definitely Mo Salah.
One last one. Would you put Mo Salah ahead of Eden Hazard?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
I think I would too. That's a big topic, especially on Twitter. Maybe it's only on Twitter, but like people defend Eden Hazard with their entire lives.
He wasn't as productive.
He wasn't as
Salah.
productive.
Not as
no.
productive.
I'd put Heung-min
He
Son in
probably
front of
is
Eden
talented.
Hazard.
What's up?
That's a debate. That's more debatable.
I'd put Heung-min Son in front of Eden Hazard.
I wouldn't.
I think
I would not.
talent-wise, they're all. Hyunmin Son is right up there too. I think Eden Hazard was so talented that he had like those couple. Remember that goal he scored against Liverpool in the Carabao Cup?
Yeah.
He scored one goal against Arsenal too, which was like a crazy mazy
Yeah,
run.
but Hazard's led to trophies. Human Son hasn't even won a bag of crisps.
I think that's
nothing.
also what happened with like Alexis Sanchez. Was Alexis Sanchez? He had a season where he scored like 30 and assisted.
Well, he just got
16.
burned out.
Yeah,
He got burnt out. He's run to the ground.
we just couldn't.
He had to carry
win anything.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing to carry.
Yeah. Man of the match for this game. Who was it? That's a really good, interesting topic that I was debating on Twitter as well. Foden, Salah,
Mane scored as well.
De Bruyne.
De Bruyne.
We got to pick one before we move on.
Mo Salah. I thought he's just amazing.
Theo,
Yeah, Salah.
I thought Foden was a class.
Didn't
I
they
thought he was
Foden-
Didn't
class.
they
Nice,
split it?
too.
Didn't they split it?
They did, yeah. It
Foden
was
and
Salah and
Salah?
Foden. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
cool.
for all those people out there that don't rate Foden as a player,
Foden's amazing.
he's crazy.
Do people still not?
I think he's very underrated.
Yeah, I think he's very underrated too. To be honest,
Very underrated. Such a good player. Such a good talent. And
World class as well.
I have to say, probably my favorite thing about Pep Guardiola that I have to say is that he makes players so much better.
Mm-hmm.
So much better. What he did, I think the prime example of it is what he did with Raheem Sterling.
I agree.
well,
when they-
Raheem Sterling and Kyle Walker too.
Kyle Walker.
No, Kyle Walker was great at Tottenham.
He was good,
Kyle
but
Walker
he
was
was
the
like
best right back in the league at Tottenham under Pochettino. Not saying that Pep. I mean, he's world class under Pep, but I think he was just as good under Tottenham.
he was incredibly like good going forward, but I think defensively he's gotten really good.
I mean, if you can make Sterling good, because that guy couldn't even finish his breakfast. So, like,
yeah,
I mean, that's incredible.
Sterling's fantastic.
Really
I love
incredible.
Sterling.
What a great game. A great reason to watch the Premier League. If you didn't see the game, watch the replays, watch the highlights. Probably one of the best games you'll see all year and all across European football.
Sure.
But